Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Lost in Her Eye by developer Blengineer. What we have here is something very strange and a little bit magical in its eccentricity, I suppose. What we're going to be doing today is exploring a human eye from a very tiny perspective. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, it's going to be a little weird. But having done nearly 700 episodes now of Indie Impressions, I certainly value when we're able to find a scenario or a situation that's a bit out of the ordinary or out of the norm, and I feel that that's very much what this game embraces. And as we'll slowly turn around here to face the task at hand, this is the human eye that we've actually got to explore and endeavor to perhaps clean up of all of these spheres, which I suppose are supposed to be some sort of styes or pollutants or maybe microbial deposits of some kind. I also want to mention, if you've noticed, as I was facing this direction, it seemed like the light was actually changing in quality, so maybe there's actually that element too, that there's some very refined lighting techniques going on here, and it sort of represents maybe the passing of clouds overhead or something like that. So we'll approach one of these, I'm going to call them like microbes or something, and we can click and scrub to rid them of their existence, and eventually, after we click and scrub enough times, hopefully it will disappear. This is a very strange thing that happens, because it seems like half the time kind of doesn't really work. I'm not really sure what the deal is with it, but eventually I'll find the right spot to click and scrub. And I know it's saying hold, click, and move left and right, but that doesn't really work. There's only like a certain spot that it seems like you can trigger, and once you hit it, well, you'll know because it makes a loud scrubbing, brushing, water rushing sound. There's one. I'm hoping that if I move around enough... There it is. Alright, we finally ridded the eye of one of these. We've got a lot to go, and we've got quite a bit of ground to cover, as it were. So as you can see, the majority of the area surrounding the eye is modeled, but not the entire human face, unfortunately, which is a thing that certainly leaves me wanting more. There's actually a few qualities here that I would absolutely love to see expanded upon, and I'll touch upon those a little bit later. But before we get on that point, I want to call attention to the fact that we can hear the woman breathing that we happen to be walking around in her face. You'll hear her breathing slowly. It's in the background. It's not the most pronounced noise out there, but it is certainly there. And it begs the question, number one, why is she not blinking? Number two, why is she not moving at all? And number three, well, what am I doing in her eye? I've always been sort of wondering that from the very beginning. But it sort of begins to make you go down this questioning path of, what's up with us being here doing this, and she's not really reacting at all? Is she in some sort of state of paralysis? Maybe these are poisonous spores that have landed on her eye, and we're trying to wake her up from her Sleeping Beauty syndrome, or whatever it might be. It's a kind of a weird way to look at it, and it almost makes this game a little bit dark, doesn't it? Because, as it turns out, well, the first impression is usually one of whimsy, I would think. Sort of one of those Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moments where you're walking around in this very large, expansive environment that just happens to be a micro version of something that you're used to seeing on a regular basis, reimagined in a new perspective. But when you look at it that way, it certainly makes things a little bit more ominous and maybe a little grim as well. And also, as you probably saw, you could see the center of the eye there. I'm going to try and get on top of the actual surface of the eyeball in a second, and we'll see if we can climb up. It's quite a sight to behold. Oh, we're being told to click and scrub again. Well, I get the point. It's fine. So that is actually a pretty impressive sight to see. The coloration of the eye, the texture that's being put into place there, has a pretty nice effect when put in with the outer edges of the eyeball as well. It almost looks like it's got a little bit of that. Oh, it actually just dilated. Holy crap, I did not expect that. So there is a little bit of life to this person after all. It would be pretty terrifying, though, if the eyelids started closing on me unexpectedly. Or maybe as we start to clean some of these pollutants off, that might start happening. I don't know. Not really sure quite to what degree this takes the simulatory nature of something this outstandingly strange. If we could eliminate this next one, that would be fantastic. I'd love to look in the other direction so you could see where the face stops being modeled. I could imagine exploring a whole human body in Unity like this would be pretty wild as well. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the developer's intended course of action over the course of the next while. But as we look out over, you'll see the tear duct there, and then what would start to be the bridge of the nose, I believe, but it's not quite there entirely. You could just sort of see off into the distance where it just ends. And then we start to see this speckled, striped, colored sky pattern. Well, I suppose it's a sky. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be wallpaper. Maybe this person is suspended at an odd angle with her face directly butted up into some wallpaper. I don't know. Could be anything. Oh, there's a whole collection of it over here. Maybe these little balls are supposed to be like that junk that collects around your eyes, the sleep stuff. Well, let's see if we can head down there. Maybe we'll help this person out. I'm not sure if anything is going to happen when I actually finally finish this task, but I am very curious to know. There's sort of a rumbling sound now. I don't know if you just noticed that. But it seemed to be getting a little bit stronger as we moved in this direction, so once we can get rid of this one, I am going to see if I can increase that intensity if possible. Alright, we're not seemingly able to get this one to vanish for whatever reason, and now that I've fallen off the eye, we're in a little bit of a tricky position, because it looks like I'm going to have to walk up and around the outside edge again, and see if maybe I can find my way up and up into the eyelashes a second time. You know, I'm told that there's some pretty wild microorganisms that can live up in your eyelashes that look like little blue globular jelly bits, and it would be fantastically strange to see if those were like enemies maybe wandering around that would get in our way or something, but I guess we're not quite that microscopic. Not quite sure what the scale is that we are actually operating on, but we're certainly small, don't get me wrong, but we could certainly be smaller. It's very creepy that the eye dilates like that. I certainly wasn't expecting that at all. Look at that shot. That is so strange. I should probably at least get rid of the ones that are directly on the eye itself, and then we can work our way up and around, because you'd think that the ones that are stuck in the eyelashes and stuff aren't really going to be much of an issue. Also, it would be nice if maybe, you know, just kind of rotate those eyelashes a little bit so they're not embedded in the side of the skin there. But, you know, no big deal. Just little bits of polish that could go a little bit further. Can we get this? I think if anything needs to be worked on, it's this mechanic, because I honestly, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I honestly don't understand what I need to be doing differently to make these vanish. Maybe it works better if I go up and down instead of left and right, despite what the little diagram was maybe telling me at the beginning. Imagine we could wander into somebody's giant cave-like nose. Yeah, it totally works better if you go up and down instead of left and right. Or does it? It just sort of stopped working there. Maybe you need to find a nice focal point to start scrubbing. Alright, that worked. Imagine, this is where we started, this little hovel of a reddish skin area. I don't even know what to call that. More mucus-filled skin area. There's a surprising lack of moisture going on in this game as well. You would think this eye would be incredibly dried out at this point. I wonder if this person maybe is just asleep? Sleeps with their eyes open? I don't know, I guess that happens to people, right? You don't know, maybe there's actually a chance that you might be opening your eyes in the middle of you being asleep, and you'd never know, because you're not conscious. It was posed upon me at one point, I don't know if this is actually true necessarily, but somebody has said, like, yes, you do have an internal clock and everything, but sometimes you wonder why you can wake up just before your alarm clock goes off, and it might be that you're just looking at the alarm clock, even though your brain is not registering it. So I wonder if that's actually the case, that maybe this person's just trying to get the right timing on her alarm clock before she wakes up, and we're just trying to have make her day a little bit easier, ridding her of the night's pollutants, I suppose. I have really honestly no idea. I'm making this up as I go, as you probably could tell. I kind of want to go exploring off the rails, but I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to jump past this point. Yeah, we're not. The jumping seems to be disabled here. See that change in lighting quality all of a sudden? That was kind of mysterious. Oh, this eyelash seems to be suspended completely in the air. But I've certainly never seen a premise exactly like this. I'm not exactly even sure what the premise is other than exploring the eye. But regardless, I do like it. And I would hope for something like this to be expanded upon in the future. I think, though, the amount of time that we're going to have to take to rid the eye of all of these, whatever these are, is going to take longer than I'm willing to spend. And also, I should probably leave something for you guys to discover in case there's more to it after you clear off all of these. I hate to spoil the surprise sometimes, you know, so it's better to let everybody take their time. So all in all, very interesting, very strange, worth looking at, very artistic in a weird way. And I would love to see this expanded upon. I mean, I don't have a lot of other criticism in that, because essentially there's not a whole lot here. It's basically just walking around. But I do like the way that it's presented, and I like these little details. You know, the fact that the edge of the eye is so well modeled, the fact that the actual lens opens and closes and dilates and everything like that, and the little details, they go a long way. So I do appreciate them, and if anything, that's sort of a standby or mainstay of the series, is that I'm always interested in the little details. So if you ever are interested in getting on the show, have a game with lots of little details. It'll probably help out quite a bit. So with that, I will leave you for another day. I know another short episode. This is probably going to turn around soon. I'm going to be looking for some slightly more substantive games in the coming days. So stick around if you're still enjoying the random, crazy, artistic, unique, original, and wondrously odd indie games. Indie Impressions is the place for you, so be sure to leave some support. Let me know what you think in the comments. Check out this game for yourself in the description if you'd like. Perhaps go try it and see what you think, and then let me know in the comments, as well as check out my other social media information if you're interested. You can find out more about me, like stuff on my Twitter, my Facebook, my Twitch page where I stream, and of course indie-impressions.com, the main page for the series where you can find all the episodes categorized and sorted. But I will leave you for another day. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope to see you back again tomorrow. New episodes go up every single day without fail, so I will see you then, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you later.